So rinse and repeat. The reason I called this presentation Rinse and Repeat is because I'm a big fan of leverage. I get bored very, very quickly, and I don't like doing things that I don't have to do. And Dave thinks I'm a fast implementer. My business partner would tell you that I'm trigger happy and that he's forever trying to contain me, because if I do get I'll have this conversation with my business partner and say, like, I reckon we should do this. And he'll say, righto, well, let's sit down and have a meeting. And I'm like, well, while you're having the meeting, I'm going to go and do it, right? And you just shout at me from the sidelines if you think I'm off track, because I'm already out there running the race. I'm a terrible planner and I don't like to wait. I'm impatient. I want to get things done. But what I've learned over the years is that you need to surround yourself with good people to get things done. You can't do it on your own. Well, you can, but eventually you'll hit the wall and burn out, and that's not fun for anyone. So in this presentation, I want to talk about real-world processes and procedures. This is stuff that actually happens in the real world. There's no theory here. This is stuff that's actually happening day in, day out in our business. And I'm going to walk you through 3 of our systems to give you some idea of the kind of level of detail. Why do I think this is important? Because your competition are using processes to speed up. I was talking at the Unconvention, which is a entrepreneurs convention run by a company called The Entourage. I'm doing a roadshow with them around Australia and New Zealand, and I was talking to a bunch of entrepreneurs about the importance of using processes and marketing and marketing automation tools. And a lot of them are they don't get it. They don't understand why they need to be doing this. And I said very clearly, because your competition will be doing this, and that's how they're getting to market. That's how your competition are racing past you and still having time with their family, because they're using automation and they're using tools and processes to do this stuff. Processes are an asset in your business, and I actually did not know what Dave and Mike were going to talk about when I put these slides together last week. Processes are an absolute asset in your business. Has anyone read Built to Sell by John Warrillow? If you haven't read Built to Sell, did you mention that as well, Mike? Yeah. Man, it is. Read Built to Sell. It's a fantastic, it's almost a novel. It's almost like a short little fiction story. It reads really well. It's very engaging. There is so much gold in that book. I actually interviewed John recently on a podcast, and he was saying his very simple methodology is that a process needs to be repeatable, teachable, and valuable, I think it is. Teachable and valuable, yeah. So it's got to add some value, it's got to be repeatable, and it's got to be teachable to staff. So processes are an absolute asset in your business. And I actually think that processes are the difference between being self-employed and building a business. And that's a huge, step to take. For the first, I reckon, 3 or 4 years that I was in business, I was self-employed. And I thought I was in business, but I just had fired the boss and I'd become the boss. And I was just employing myself, had a business partner, had a couple of staff, didn't have any processes, didn't have any systems, had really no idea what we were doing, and I was just self-employed. And I was miserable. I eventually walked out of that business and started from scratch and was determined to do it differently the second time round. And I know that sounds like a common, had a bit of success, hit the bottom, fell rock bottom and then built yourself up. And it's a common little storytelling narrative that people use to get you engaged. But I can hand on heart tell you right now, it's the absolute truth. And I've come across so many entrepreneurs who go through a similar journey where they feel like they're building a business, but they're actually just self-employed, and there's a big difference. It's okay if you're just self-employed, there's no judgment. If that's what you want to do, that's totally cool, but don't convince yourself that you're building a business, because if you haven't got processes in place that you can teach staff members, then you're not building a business, you're just keeping yourself from being employed. Which in my case is a really good thing, because if anyone knows me, you'll know I'm the most unemployable person in the world. So, I just can't get a job even if I wanted to.